This box is a worm box. It is kind of like a composting box for your home, and you have composting worms inside which ate all your food scraps and stuff. And so I have had this one for about 3 months, and I just wanted to give you a few thoughts, because today I'm gonna take out one of the boxes that is already full with new compost, and I just want to check on the worms and give you like a 3-month update of what's been going on. So we're gonna start with one of the main points is probably smell. It probably depends on how good you are with your worm box. You can probably make it so that it doesn't smell, well, it just smells like earth or compost, but actually sometimes it does smell when it's very wet and all that kind of stuff, and if you've got loads of stuff in there. It's only like a little bit of smell, you know, like I would compare it to when you open a fridge and it smells like cheese or whatever you have in there. It's kind of like that when you open the lid, but apart from that, it's pretty good. You don't smell a lot when you're just in the room, but when you open it and you open this stuff here, then you get a bit of a breeze of, sometimes it's more earthy, and sometimes if it's like too wet, oh, you've done anything wrong, it might be more stinky, like it stinks a bit. So that's for the smell. I think that's pretty alright, for me at least. I use it to put a lot of water and like moist stuff on there too, so that I can get some worm tea. And I wanted to know how that performs and how the solution that I've got with this box here performs with it. I've chosen the worst spot, I tell you. No. Oh. This is the worm tea. Obviously I've put a whole lot of water through the system so that I can get a lot of, you know, water out of there. But the whole system is designed for that too, which is kind of what I had in mind. So this is like great fertilizer for your plants and everything. Essentially what I'm gonna do in a bit is just fill all this stuff in a bottle, and then I can use it for, you know, fertilize some plants. So much for the worm tea and the fertilizer. And now I want to get to the stuff in here, because I've got 2 boxes in here. One is already full, and then I put the other one on top with the holes in it, and the worms went up, and that one is like 2/3 full too. And there might be some worms still in the bottom box, which is why I'm doing it in the bathroom of my apartment, which is super tiny, and it's pink. The whole reason for me taking out the 2 boxes is I need the soil. I want to have this nice worm compost soil for my plants, which are looking something like this. And they need a bigger housing, which is, I'm gonna use this one. So those plants, tomato plants. Every year I'm doing like tomato plants on my balcony, and it's super fun and super awesome to have tomatoes on your balcony, and other plants too. So I wanna see how great the worm casting or the worm earth is in the bottom tray, and I'm gonna, you know, see how well it performs with my tomatoes. Hopefully they're gonna go nuts, and I'm gonna have heaps. Now to the interesting part. How are the worms looking? How are they doing? So as you can see, we got some food scraps in here with some soil. The reason why I managed to get to this level so quickly in 3 months is I wanted to try it out, the whole system and how it works, and if the worms are coming out through the holes. And I put a lot of old soil from my plants, from my last tomato plants of last year. I put all of that soil in the box so that it fills up more quickly and the worms have a lot more space to be, you know, jumping around. And actually we have got a few little small tiny, not sure what they're called, but some tiny bugs, termites or whatever they're called. They're super small, and apparently they're not going to do anything. They just come when it's too moist, and I'm not sure if they're good or not. I think they're not bad. Wow. Right here, so this is the bottom box, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna empty the whole box in the bathtub, see how many worms are still in there, use all the soil for my plants, and put the worms that are still in here in the top box, which I'm gonna put back in here. And it smells a bit like old water. It actually smells pretty bad. We still got lots of those cardboard that we put in at the start. I thought they would eat it. So I guess this is going to be a bit of a work-intensive progress. We still got some cardboard in here, but there's some stuff that they don't really like to eat. I'm going to go through it and let you know how it all went. And we'll see how many worms we can get. Alright, so I went through the pile here once with like a bit of a rough look to get all the big worms out, the mature ones. That was about this much of this cup. I put the ball in here. Unfortunately my SD card ran out of space, so yeah, my hands were dirty, so I just finished that. So I had about a handful of worms, which are like still a lot, like 20 or 30 even. And I put them straight back into the other bin so they can't escape. And now I've only got like smaller worms in here and like eggs and stuff. I figured I'm not gonna worry about too much about the eggs, but you do find a lot of those very small tiny worms which are like a millimeter thick and they're like super short too. I'm gonna try and get all of them out of here. Rightio, I'm done searching through all of this compost here and all the stuff that was too big. That's actually quite interesting what they didn't eat, which is a lot of the cardboard, and they didn't eat like big peels of potatoes and anything that was just big in general. Yeah, a lot of sprouts came out, which is mostly because of breadcrumbs and all that kind of stuff, so I've taken them out too so they don't grow any further. Apart from that, it was all pretty good. So yeah, just big pieces of onions and potatoes and all that kind of stuff. So I've actually got a new strategy of doing that. I've got a small kind of mixer or blender, but it's like hand driven. And so you pull that thing and then it just blends it really nice. And you do that a couple of times and then everything is like super small. And it's a lot better for the worms to eat that small stuff. They can process it so much faster and you don't have these big things in there. So now I've got this compost here and I've got a couple of tomato plants which I'm gonna use. And while I was going through the compost I thought, would it be cool to see the difference between composted earth, soil, and you know, like fresh soil that you buy from the supermarket or hardware store or whatever. So I'm gonna try that out and have probably the smaller one I will put in the compost because I think this one has a lot more nutrients. And I'm gonna put this in the supermarket or hardware store soil and we'll see which one is gonna grow quicker. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, yeah, I'll see you when I see ya.